What are we calling the show this year?
This is the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
Patriots Chinwag, Patriots Before the Game Show.
Jones, he's throwing it toward Portland, left corner of the end zone, caught, touchdown New England.
Hey, it's the Patriots.
Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the latest news and information before every game.
He tucked into the house again.
Here we go.
The Patriots take the lead.
With Hardy,
Sounds like something I would have said, so sure, I'll own it.
Mike Dussault,
Let's just go into this game and, kind of like with the fingers in the ears, like, ah, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. I just let me see it unfold.
Paul Perillo,
I don't want to spoil it. It's going to be one hell of a show.
Yeah, why we want to generate interest?
and Tamara Brown.
I might have to skip the show because Hardy's going to be insufferable.
Oh, it's just be all kinds of
More insufferable.
Louisiana.
Yeah, more insufferable.
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
I can't wait. All right, let's. Hello? Yeah. Hello?
This thing on?
Mine's not on. All right. Have a good show, everybody.
Hi, Hardy.
Hi.
This is the best show ever. Want to know why?
Here you go. Ready?
Because we can't hear Hardy.
You know something? I'm going to go over there and share your microphone Temptation style. And you and I are going to lean in and lean out and share one mic. So watch it.
Oh, my God.
Watch
That'd
it.
be the worst day of my life.
It wouldn't be that bad. Hold on. Morel's going to try and
work his magic.
fiddle around with this until we get it rolling here on the Dunkin pregame. It's Hardy, it's Mike Dussault, it's Tamara, it's Paul, it's everybody here. Getting ready for this big tilt in Miami as the Patriots take on the Dolphins here today. A game I have no idea how this thing is going to go down. Zero clue. Before we get to our keys to the game and we go behind enemy lines and we do the six-pack and we do the over-unders, let me state early and often.
Oh, there it is.
Hello? No?
Yeah,
No. Early and often, I have no idea how this game is going to unfold. Zero. Any idea, Tamara?
No, but what I do know is the Patriots are wearing silver pants again, which I still want to know the significance of this. And if they go 2-0 in these silver pants, will they continue to wear them the rest of the season?
Put that on the list of things that
Didn't
I
they
could.
lose the last time they played in Silver Pants before last week?
Yeah, Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I can't really hear you either.
What?
So
Don't you know
will
though,
they wear
Paul?
them the
Don't
rest
you?
of the season?
Don't you know it matters what uniform you wear?
No,
Yes, I
don't
do.
you know?
I'm well aware.
It only matters if the Patriots win, and that resets everything. Say, for instance,
That's a great point.
yes, if San Francisco loses to Minnesota, they're not automatically a losing team. They're still a good team that had a bad game. But if the Patriots win a game against a good team,
In silver pants.
that's just a mediocre team that had a good game. No, now they are a very good team, and they are going to. Now we're talking path math for making the playoffs.
That's absolutely fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
I don't. That's just how.
We did it on
that's how it
Patriots
is.
Unfiltered on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's an absolute fact.
Did your head explode?
No,
Okay.
I refuse to take part in it.
Okay.
I
But
said if they win 6 in a row, then I'm not going to be stubborn about it. Okay, the narrative changed a little bit here. Something happened
Right.
that hasn't happened, so it's different now. But yeah, when you lose 5 and win 1, like I think it's hard to say the 1 is the reality.
yeah, having said all that, I don't know how this game is going to go today because
I don't either.
I do believe. Is it on? I can't tell if this is on. Check.
it
I don't think
sounds
it's
on.
on.
Wait,
I don't think it's on.
Deuce,
No.
turn off yours to see if it's on. Turn off that one. Okay, now try.
Check 1 2 test 1 2. No, not working. Okay.
Okay.
I'll go back to this one. There is something to the
How you
fact.
doing over there, Deuce? Can we hear you?
I feel
think
like
so.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
this,
Okay. Can
you
I
hear me
feel
yet?
like this
Can you
is
hear
like
me?
a phone
Okay.
commercial.
There we go.
All right.
Is this
Yeah.
thing on? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
But I think you make a good point, Hardy, about
Oh.
sort of the uncertainty of what we have today. And I know we're still dealing with all kinds of
Trade back.
issues here, but the amount of injuries that teams are dealing with, and it looks like Miami might be getting some of those guys that a lot of people talked about earlier in the week are actually going to play. Tyreek Hill is going to play.
Right.
Looks like Jalen Waddle is going to play. Not sure exactly about all the defensive guys. but it looks like they have a chance. And certainly Jalen Ramsey tweeted out this morning, who hasn't played a game yet this year, that he's planning on playing today after being activated, to be part of the secondary. So I think there's a chance that some of those guys that were deemed out earlier in the week for Miami are going to play today, which I think only adds to the uncertainty.
And there is, I think, something to the fact. Excellent job. Thank you, Matt. Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you. There is
the game was down. What did you?
The gain was down. The gain was down.
Basically,
the
the volume was
down.
Volume was down from the revenue.
The leads are weak. The leads are weak. You're weak. I can go out there tonight with the resources you have, make myself $15,000. Can you? Can you?
No.
Okay. There's something to the fact that Miami hasn't really beat a very good football team.
Yeah, but they've really smoked some bad ones. I mean,
okay. I don't think Miami is bad. I think as we will get to this later, I'm leaning toward a Miami win today, but I don't think it's a blowout, and I think there are enough questions, like the injuries Paul talked about, like some of these. Look, you saw that game in Philadelphia. They didn't look like a very good football team out there putting together their best effort. So are they a good team that had a bad game? Are they just a better than average team that is going to, win maybe a few that they should, or lose a few games this season that they shouldn't really lose? And what are the Patriots? Obviously, there's two big halves to this equation. I think we're going to find out a lot about these two teams today, which is it's high time. We're in week 8. Week 8? Week 8. Week 8. So a divisional opponent. Find out something about this team today that we didn't know before. Will it be reinforcing what we saw last week, or will it be water finding its level? Ditto for Miami. I think you can find out a lot about this game today, which is another reason why I don't have much of an instinct or a gut telling me which way it's going to go. I think we find out today.
I think for me, there's two things going on. The first one is I think Miami, and this was ongoing. Are we just taking the key off right now?
No, that's not the key.
Just like that.
That's not the key.
Paul is so eager to get rid of it. I don't know. I had a take in development starting like last week that Miami is going to be, and this is just, I don't know if this is true, but like Miami's a different team at home. And when they play at home and they have their field and they feel good and they're a really tough team to defeat. The two losses we had to good teams in Philadelphia, I think, didn't start great to the season, but has certainly been getting better. I still think Miami's a very, very good team, especially at home, especially against the Patriots. But the other aspect of it, the part two is offensive line injuries. How banged up are some of these guys? No Javon Holland. So do these injuries make a difference to Miami at home? But I would generally say if Miami was fully healthy, I'd be expecting them to, for the Patriots to really, really have a tough task. I still think they have a really tough task today. I think Miami's a good team, especially at home.
I think they have some really good players. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're a really good team, but we know they have some really good players, and that might be enough.
And I think that their coach is really, really smart, and I think that he's going to come up with a game plan today that's going to scheme up something that even with these injuries, they're still going to be really competitive today. So
right. Just so much speed, you know, and it's like even besides the scheme of it all, which I mean, I totally agree with Tamara. Mike McDaniel has that offense, on the cutting edge of what NFL offenses are doing right now. And when they're clicking and Tua's able to get the ball out before anybody's even made their break, and it's so hard to defend when they're playing with that kind of anticipation, and it's just a whole new challenge for the Patriots. I like the fact that, they have Jonathan Jones back today for what it's worth. I think the second week they had Gonzalez and I think Marcus Jones, right? At that point, they were a little shorthanded.
That's the game that Marcus Jones got hurt in.
Yeah. So, right? I'd love to have Gonzalez and Jonathan Jones, but I think it's a little bit of a, I don't want to say a boost because they did a pretty good job against Tyreek last time.
Yeah.
I like that point, Mike, because both Jack Jones and John Jones weren't playing in that game. So it's interesting. Like,
little
obviously
swap.
now
I mean, you'd love to have. Ideally, I want Gonzalez out there over everybody else. In a perfect world.
Judon would be nice too.
Judon would be nice too. And we can talk about Uche as well, not being in. So I think it's a big Barmore day. Trying to get in that backfield, trying to get pressure quickly on Tua. I forget what the exact number was, but last game here, he's just seeing it, feeling it, getting the ball out quick. It's so hard to play defense when they're just on rhythm and they're able to kind of dictate the terms of it. So the Patriots today can't let that happen.
Yeah, to your point, though, about what is Miami, and this is one of those tough ones that we used to say about the Patriots when the Patriots were still rolling. Like, Miami doesn't have anything to gain today. Like, if they win, everybody sort of makes fun of them. Well, yeah, we knew you could beat those teams, but what do you do when you play the real teams?
Right.
Yeah.
And then if they lose, it's like, oh, Miami, look out below. They're really frauds, So that sometimes the Patriots had to deal with that, more toward the end of the Brady era. They had those games, they would play the Jets and, Buffalo before Buffalo
No-win
got Josh,
situation
before
type of
Buffalo
games.
got Josh Allen. No-win situations.
A little bit of pressure on Miami then, you think?
Right.
Just to,
And with the whole offensive line being out, I think is an issue for them. I mean, they're missing at least two guys. They're missing the left tackle and left guard. Definitely. I don't know about Connor Williams yet, right? That he didn't get downgraded, did he? I know Holland did, but I didn't know anybody else, right?
No, not yet.
So they're dealing with that's when Mike brings up Barmore, that's where the Patriots are going to need to try to do something different, in my opinion, because I think the secondary got blitzed last game. I know they only scored 24 points. I don't think that they care if it's Hill or anybody else. They did everything they wanted to through the air in that last game. They need to do something different up front, I think, to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Can Keon White come back into the mix? I mean, I know concussion, that it make it a little complicated from a couple weeks ago, but love to just add, some more bodies there along the offensive line. I mean, last week they, had to elevate, what's his name, Tristan, Tristan Hill. They're scraping right now without those guys. So hopefully Jennings can continue to play well, but I just think it's more than stopping the run this week. It's trying to get quick disruption, trying to get into that backfield, trying to affect those plays that they're so good at with throwing with timing and anticipation.
Matt, you want to try and do the keys here in 3 minutes and get it done before the behind enemy lines?
Why did you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail.
Here are Hardy, Paul, Mike, and Tamara's keys to the game.
Why did I steal your key to the game also?
Keys to the game. Without these keys, Patriots doomed and destined to fail. Listening in the locker room in Miami right now. Last week's key winner and current key holder, Paul Perillo. You're up first. Your key to today's game against the Dolphins.
Yeah, just looking at everybody's list here, and I think Mike and I are on a similar wavelength here. I want to try to bottle what they did last week and continue it. We have different ways of saying it. I think the offensive production that they had last week started with the decision to throw the ball on early downs. I think if they need to continue to do that and try to stay out of those situations where they're putting that offensive line at risk. So when you're throwing on first down, you're able to get, a little bit of an easier completion and keep, the second and threes, those kinds of situations and stay out of those long yardage spots that I think have been so troublesome for everybody, but especially the Patriots this season. So pretty simple one, Hardy. Just keep throwing the ball on first down. I think they did something like 18 times last week. I'd like to keep that going.
So, from the man who gave us back-to-back weeks of run the dang ball,
right,
he is now going to keep throwing that first down.
I was definitely thinking you were going to go 3 for 3.
Problematic just for key retention. Well, that's all I'm saying.
But because
just so you know, every game is different, Hardy.
Okay, that's good.
But also,
he's right.
But also,
he's
when he's right, he's
maybe
right.
because he didn't use that key, the Patriots' run game is going to get going today.
Well, why don't you give us your key there, Tamara?
My key is take it to Tua. We already talked about their offensive line issues. He was really off his game against the Eagles, and so I think the Patriots have a chance here with Barmore, with Jennings, hopefully Keon White as well, to get him off his game. He missed a lot of throws to Tyreek Hill that he would usually make. Obviously, Tyreek Hill dropped one as well that he would usually catch. And then also, too, with those offensive line issues, they only had 12 carries for 45 yards. If the Patriots can stop Mostert, who had his way against the Patriots the first time, I think they'll really have a chance.
Don't muddy the key. You're talking about taking it to Tua. I don't want you to start, talking about run defense. Stick to it. I think you got a strong.
Take it to Tua.
I think you have a strong key.
If you can't throw,
leave it alone.
You can't throw.
Walk away. Walk
Can't
away.
throw. He can't hand it off.
Put it down. Walk away.
Deuce.
So along Paul's lines, the same thing as last week. They got a good start last week. They got a 10-0 lead. The complexion of the game changed. We're suddenly seeing a Patriots team we haven't really seen in a couple years. No need to change it. That's the same thing I want to see today. I think their last 3 losses to Miami, not including that one, the one that they beat them last December, but they've given up 17 points, like 17-3, 17-0, 17-3. That's been the MO against Miami, is allowing them 17 points right out of the gate. So I just think it's a non-starter if that happens. If you give Miami a 2-score lead out of the gate, I think you're not in a position to win the game. And so I think they just got to get out there. They have to get a stop. They got to get a score. They have to play the game on their terms and take it right to Miami. I like what Paul and Tamara both saying. I think those are important things. I don't see any chance of a Patriots win today unless they get off to a good start. They get a lead. It's a game going into the third quarter, not, all right, how can we, make up 14-point deficit, usually how you've been against these Dolphins. So not complicated. Go get a lead.
3 strong keys. What will my key be, and who will win the key for the week? We'll find out after we go behind enemy lines. See what I did there?
You know the view from New England.
We go behind enemy lines.
But what about the view from the other side?
And that's why you're our favorite pregame show guest every year.
You guys know you tell everybody that.
Oh, yeah?
I was on with you guys in 2018 Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
And I was told I was the favorite guest of the show.
Nope.
No.
Time now to go behind enemy lines.
My God, it's coming right for us!
From the Miami Dolphins and MiamiDolphins.com at Wingfield NFL, it's Travis Wingfield joining us here behind enemy lines. Travis, you're on with me, Hardy, Mike Dussault, Tamara, Paul. Good to have you on, Travis. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? Last time I got the WSU crew team introduction, I was curious what sport I was going to be playing this time around, but I guess I'm not an athlete anymore.
Oh, boy. I dropped the ball on that one. I'll take full ownership on that. Yeah, there's a crap introduction. Do you want to hang up and call back and I come up with something better?
Let's start it over, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Travis, I'll jump in. Just what can you tell us about the secondary today? It sounds like Ramsey's going to play. What are you kind of expecting? I know no Holland. He's already been ruled out. But between Howard and now maybe Ramsey coming back, what are your expectations from that group today?
I think it's a little bit of a mystery going into at least kickoff because, given Xavier Howard's groin issues the last couple of seasons and the fact that they don't want to play him unless he's, 110% ready to go, I could see a very real scenario where he does not go. And all of a sudden, you get a little bit thin on the perimeter. And when you get Jalen Ramsey back, he's a matchup type of eraser. He can play inside. He can play safety, pretty much anywhere on the field. And then Nick Needham's return, he's also kind of a similar inside guy as well, which is where Kader Kohu is super strong. And so I think that you could have a mix of just a variety of guys that wind up taking their turns on the perimeter. Dolphins did cut Perry Nickerson, who had been the primary slot guy the last couple of weeks. And then Eli Apple has been in and out of the lineup on the perimeter as well. So I really don't know. I know it's kind of a all-over-the-place answer, but I think we're going to find out at kickoff because they have a lot of options, and maybe it's not all good options.
How do you see Miami's offensive line, being able to overcome those challenges today, especially Tua, who seemed a bit off of his game with those guys out?
Yeah, the real loss, I think, for the Dolphins this year on the offensive line has been Connor Williams, just because of, number one, the replacement that steps in for him is probably the biggest downgrade in terms of the replacements they have on that offensive line. Teron Armstead's obviously an all-pro, but we're used to not having him for a handful of games these last couple of years, and Kendall Lamb has filled in pretty admirably there. The left guard position was a little bit dicey on Sunday night when they lost Isaiah Wynn on the first possession, and Lester Cotton stepped in for him. But without Connor Williams, all of a sudden the attachments on double teams, on some of the duo catch and climb run blocking plays, but also in pass protection, those seem to get a little bit more disoriented. So I think that Williams' potential absence would be the biggest one there. And for Tua, regardless of who blocks up front, he gets the ball out so fast that he just hasn't seen that much pressure this year. So with all three guys down, maybe a bit more of a challenge, but we'll see what the Inactives look like here in about 20 minutes.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about the running game for the Dolphins. And Mostert obviously did a lot of damage in the first meeting, and they weren't able to get that going last week against Philadelphia. Where do you think that the run? Because to me, when I watch the Dolphins offense play, it seems to all get predicated on getting Mostert started. So I just wanted to know your thoughts of how you feel the status of the running game is right now.
Yeah, I think both the run and pass kind of work off each other in this offense, and it really starts with that wide zone running game they have. And whether it's, Mostert taking the wide zone run or some end-around activity or, reverses the receivers, if the Dolphins can stress the edges and get yards off the perimeter, then it just sets up everything else they do in the passing game because of all the play action and they show the football on those wide runs and pull it back, and all of a sudden you have a couple of 4-2 receivers going back across the other way. So I think it's always paramount to get the running game going, but in particular off the edges where they struggled last week with that really good Philly, linebacker speed they have on the perimeter.
You know, I was just trying to follow up from our last conversation, Travis. Do you have your lacrosse and polo stats handy from prep school? Because now it's all coming back to me. I was an unconscionable ball breaker earlier this season. I really was. But that name,
I was looking forward to it. I was hoping there would be some other kind of surprise, maybe like the backup, a backup golfer or something on the WSU golf.
Where did you prep? We know you went to prep school somewhere with a name like Travis Wingfield. It's impossible.
Prepped at Avon Old Farms.
Public school and state school and college, baby.
Love it. So at the top of the show, I talked a little bit about this maybe being a bit of an identity game for both the Patriots and the Dolphins. There's a lot of people around here who think the Patriots have flipped some kind of a switch. They're no longer a bad team. They just beat the Bills. And there are plenty of people talking about the Dolphins and who they've beat and what happened against the Eagles. Is anyone looking at this in Miami as a bit of an identity test for the Dolphins today?
I think it's certainly, kind of raised some flags for the loss they took last week and just kind of really magnified the importance of this game because all of a sudden, if you don't get this divisional win at home, no less, where they're usually pretty dang good, 15 of the last 17 games here they've won. And with Buffalo dropping a key divisional game that kind of gives Miami a chance to, steal the tiebreaker there at the end of the season, all of a sudden you go to Kansas City next week. If you lose today and then lose next week, your 5-1 start turns into a 5-4 real quickly. So
yep.
Miami has to really just, I think they're aware they have to play their best game today, and I think you'll see a much better performance than you saw last week.
Travis, I just want to ask you about Tua. I know, you've been down there in Miami for a while. You've seen his whole career kind of unfold. Just, what have you seen from him this year, and just kind of what kind of strides have you seen from him, during his time there? What player has he developed into right now?
Yeah, it's interesting because last year seemed to be more about leadership and confidence and just making sure that he was, his game is so predicated on anticipation and kind of knowing what's going to happen before it happens. And when you play like that, if you're not confident, all of a sudden those extra couple of hitches or beats are going to, really cause some negatives in your game. And so I think he developed kind of the leadership and confidence that he had back at Alabama after kind of having that stripped away from him the first 2 years in the previous regime here. And then this year he was really able to, he's coming off a couple of off seasons where he had to, rehab a hip injury, just different injuries that he was dealing with. And this was the first year that he really added strength training and the jiu-jitsu stuff you guys all heard about. And I think that you're seeing even better physical traits this year. Like he drove a 30-yard out route last week that we just haven't seen him do in the past with, a ball on a frozen rope. And then also the escapability. There's a little more scramble plays where he attacks line of scrimmage and then, throws the ball after the fact. So the physical traits this year I think have improved much more than we've seen in the past year in Miami.
Was there ever any true worry or uncertainty that Tyreek Hill and Waddle wouldn't be available today, or was that kind of just like the media overreacting to him having a day off?
I think the latter. Tyreek he never misses games. We just kind of get used to him. If he's got something wrong, he'll figure it out and get back out there. I think that what caused all the panic was Tua's words at the press conference at some point down the line, and apparently down the line was the very next day he's back in practice. So with that one, maybe 24 hours of panic, but maybe a little bit more media buildup. And then Waddle, McDaniel came out on Monday and said that he was going to be fine to go, so we were never really worried about him.
Defensively, Travis, the Vic Fangio system, I think, has been a little slow in coming together. Just your thoughts there. Have you seen signs of improvement over the last few weeks, or is it still a work in progress?
Yeah, I think, you talk about injuries. They've been down so many key parts just at random points of the season, whether it's Jalen Phillips missing a couple of games, Deshaun Elliott missed a game in Buffalo, and he's been a pretty big communicator on that back end. And today you're to really, when you do have busts, he's the kind of guy that covers a lot of those boards. So I'm curious to see how they play without him. And so I think the ability to get the defense communicated, because it's such a complex scheme that requires, adjustments and different rules based upon motions and guys that shift, and it's constantly changing. And so the communication hasn't been great, I think, in that regard. And they're trying to find a way to marry up the pass rush and coverage at the same time, because it's been one thing or the other, very rarely been both things together at the same time. And so if they can get healthy and get those guys back, and I think get to the bye week, maybe that's when the defense kind of starts to really click together.
Travis, you got a score prediction for today?
Yeah, I think, last time I think I told you guys like 31-17. I feel pretty similar about that because Miami's offense is, healthy. I just think when they're healthy, and especially in this building, they're tough to stop. So I'll go – I respect the Patriots' defense and the game plan they always throw at the Dolphins. So I'll go 27 for Miami, and I'll give the Patriots 14. A nice little 13-point win for the home team.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you twice in the same season, and I mean a double pleasure to speak to a third-generation America's Cup helmsman, Skull and Bones, class of 2014, and
back on your A game.
and legacy Freemason, Travis Wingfield.
Travis, we don't like him much either, just to make you feel any better.
You guys are the best. I appreciate it.
Good stuff. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There he goes.
Yeah, I do remember, the first meeting, when we talked to him, and a lot of the stuff about the defense sort of, I think they have high hopes of being much better defensively, and I don't think it's really come together yet. That's why I kind of asked him that late, but I do wonder if it's a defense that's capable of a lot more. And remember, Jalen Phillips did not play in the first meeting, so that gives, and I thought Chubb was pretty active anyway. In that first game, and now you have both of those guys. Christian Wilkins in the middle is a really good player. Be interesting to see who else they miss. I mean, David Long, I think, is going to play. Certainly looks, but Hollins is a big loss, and if they're missing Howard too, that's a big loss in the secondary.
It's interesting. I think the thing that's kind of coming to me that never really came to me this week, and I think Paul, you pointed it out first, was just. Travis backed it up a little bit. It was just a little bit of pressure on Miami, to feel like we need to check this box today. We can't just, roll out. And it brings me back to my key, which is if you get a lead and you put some doubt in their head of, oh, geez, like we can't lose this game. Like it makes me feel even better about that key, trying to get a good start, trying to put a little bit of more pressure on Miami, get them into that second half and make them have to make some plays.
Well, we got to wrap up the keys to the game.
Yes, Hardy, we haven't heard from you.
We heard from Paul. Keep throwing on first down because it worked well last week. Tamara, take it to Tua. Tried to mix in a little run defense in there as well, but then she went back to her original touchdown of taking it to Tua. I think it's a great key. Starting fast again is the one that makes the most sense to me in terms of how things played out last week. Mine is quite simple as well, which is no time to be nice. Think Miami Vice. Everything you do today has to be done with an air of deception. You have to go in there. Crockett and Tubbs, these guys, I don't know if you know this, Deuce, they were undercover a lot.
Yeah,
all right?
It's a tough job.
Deep undercover, right? Going one way, zigging when everyone else is zagging, thinking 4 steps ahead. And you got to be brutal. You got to be absolutely ruthless in this game today if you're going to take down a ruthless individual such as Tyreek Hill, bad person, and you're going to get a win in a place that's tough to play against a team that has more talent than you that's probably better than you are right now. So, my key, no time to be nice. Think Miami Vice. Adopt that mentality. See if it can help you get enough points today to win this game on the road.
So
now,
we're Crockett and Tubbs. Ish.
I'm not sure. I don't like my chances of winning the key today. Another new system, though, for determining the key.
Oh, yeah?
You ready?
The first caller gets to pick?
Pat in Agawam is going to pick
I love it.
This week's key recipient. I know you've been listening.
Take the pressure off.
Pat,
I love it.
You heard from Paul about keep throwing on first down. You heard Tamara taking it to Tua. Mike, start fast again, and my amazing Miami Vice soliloquy from the key. So who ends up winning the key this week, Pat?
You're going to be disappointed, Hardy. I'm taking Tamara because I think what they need to do is come after Tua, kind of like how they came after Josh Allen last week.
Let's get it going. The first key win.
Thank you, Paul.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
That was my
First, I'd like to thank my
sound.
mom.
That was like at the end of the first Star Wars when Luke gets the medal around his head. Oh,
and
my
Chewie
God.
doesn't get one.
You were Princess Leia just now, Paul.
I can live with that.
Okay, all right.
I'm so honored.
He's got
Thank
the
you,
buns.
Patty.
He's got the buns.
At least Matt will like me now.
Yeah, bull crap. How come Chewbacca didn't get the medal?
Yeah,
I mean, I've
right.
never understood that.
Wookiee.
I don't know.
Anti-Wookiee.
You know what? He thought of it as like a collar. He's like, I'm not a dog. What is this, a flea and tick situation? No. It would have been very disrespectful to put that around Chewie's neck. All right. So what do you got for us today, Pat?
Well, obvious. I'm going to state the obvious. Offensively, I mean, you're going to have to score some points today. You're going to maybe have to score more points than you did last week. But just going by what Tamara said, just the opinion from the round table. Do you think they sit back and play coverage, or do you think they actually do come after Tua and try and just rattle him, especially since their offensive line is sort of like, in a bad spot with attrition right now?
Attack them. I think you got to attack them. They get the ball out quick as it is. If you if you sit back, I think it's, we talked about it this week. It's like be
sit
aggressive
back
on the outside, bump them.
What are you going to do if you sit back? I mean,
wait for them to complete passes and run on you.
And even like a slightly hobbled Tyreek Hill, if he's out there, he doesn't need much. He really doesn't. They get the ball out fast anyway, and it's like if you give him any time, you know what? We're just going to stay back here and wait for him. And I know they did well in the first game. I know they did well to limit him. But do you want to roll those dice again? What, they did not do a good job of limiting him?
Great.
I thought they did better than what we thought they were going to do.
I thought Miami moved the ball every possession they had it.
With Tyreek?
No, not Tyreek Hill didn't have a huge game, but everybody else did.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm using him as the example.
Yeah, I just think, to Mike's point, like you tried that sitting back thing, and it didn't work. So I think you need to try to get after him. Now, the problem is I don't think you can get after him by blitzing. And they've been blitzing a lot. They've been blitzing as much as any. I think the only team in the league that's blitzed more than the Patriots is Minnesota. Not surprising with old friend Brian Flores.
Yep.
But the Patriots have sent extra rushers a lot this year. I think if you do that consistently against Miami, you're playing with fire. So you have to find a way to have Christian Barmore collapse the pocket.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to get some pressure without necessarily exposing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let Petty.
And last week we saw Mac check a couple boxes with the last-minute win and the beating a team that scores 25 or more points. I think it's time for Belichick to check the box of getting that first win against Tua. Got to happen.
Yeah.
Eventually the worm's got to turn, guys. Let's make it happen today.
All right.
Yeah. I want to unpack because Paul, that was literally the point I was, getting ready to make when you said that about blitzing. The reason they have to blitz more is because they've lost their guys that can win one-on-one. You've lost Judon, who can win one-on-one matches. You still have Barmore, and that's why he's important. You also don't have Uche. So when those guys have gone out,
but they blitzed a lot even before that,
and it's increased even more now.
Judon, he didn't get hurt till the fourth game.
In a perfect world, you'd love to say we can just get 4 guys after him because we have 4 guys that can win one-on-one matchups. I don't think they do anymore. So it's it's really hard choice of pick your poison of we need to generate pressure, we need to get after him quick, but we can't afford to send 6 guys every down because he's going to pick us apart in the secondary. He's that good, so it's tough.
Can I bring up something that's completely outside of what we're talking about right now? That's in quick take development.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So Ian Rappaport a little while ago tweeted out that it's his understanding that Juju Smith-Schuster will be active today. He didn't play last week with the concussion, the last 2 games, right?
Yep,
with the concussion.
2 games.
So he is, according to Ian Rappaport, going to be active today. And a lot of the folks that are on hand watching warm-ups right now have talked about Kendrick Bourne, Juju, Demario Douglas, Tyquan Thornton, Jalen Reagor, Kayshon Boutte. They're all out there warming up. No one's seen Devontae Parker. So it looks like Parker may not be active today. So here's my take development. Watch him to move on Tuesday.
Okay, I kind of saw what you were leading up to.
Everybody's been talking about Josh Uche, and
Yeah.
I think that there might be some interest in Josh Uche, a guy with double-digit sacks last year. Maybe a team that everybody. It's like pitching. Everybody always wants another pass rusher. So maybe Josh Uche will get moved. I don't think his inactivity the last 2 weeks, today included, has anything to do with an intention to move him. I think if you wanted to trade him, you don't sit him out. That's lowering his value. You're making it look like he's not healthy enough to play. Parker, I wonder if they're just looking at this. We got something lined up for him. We're going to move him on Tuesday. We want to make sure we get him through the game.
Okay.
Do I know that? Absolutely not.
Got an injury history.
But everybody is reporting that they have not seen Parker with the rest of the group of receivers.
Interesting.
So at the very least, it doesn't look like he's going to play today.
So
what that means, bigger picture, I have no idea.
So you go ahead, Deuce.
No, it's interesting. Not even out there for warm-ups.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's not
according to some of the guys that are there, we're not there, obviously. We will start getting our pictures pretty soon, so we no longer see you on that.
Oh, sorry, guys.
In your beautiful face. On the monitor. We'll get our pictures up there pretty soon. and maybe we'll find out for ourselves. Maybe he's just, maybe he's getting extra tape or something. Maybe he wasn't out there with everybody else. Maybe it's much ado about nothing.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I was going to ask you guys if you think all of them will be active today, or do you think it's going to be the usual? I don't want to say his name because then it's going to open up the door for Hardy to say his little
he's not
line.
going to. He won't. I don't think he'll be active. Booty?
Good. I was going to say because Hardy will just.
Oh. I just think the opportunity has gone.
Come on.
It looks like Juju. It looks like Juju's going to be active, and they put Rager on the active roster. So I don't know why you would do that and not have him active. There's the tweet. Good job, guys.
So let me
about Juju.
Let me ask you, Patriots insiders here in the building every day. You know,
we're inside the building.
You know things, right, about football,
Not
right?
really.
The talk earlier this week was that Juju Smith-Schuster could be inactive because if they're really trying to develop Demario Douglas, you don't want to take any reps away from him. There could be a redundancy there in terms of the positions that they play. So if it is Schuster who's out there, Parker inactive, how does this work in terms of personnel and in terms of people out there playing the positions?
I feel like they would be doing themselves a disservice to have Juju out there and not Demario Douglas. Like, you've seen the impact that he's had when he's on the field. He's the most dynamic player out there.
Right.
And also, when Juju's out there, it's not great. Like, he either doesn't know what he's doing, he drops the ball. Like, he's not productive when he's out there. We haven't seen anything great out of him since he's been on this team.
I agree.
So it's like, why
but if he's going to play...
No, I mean, my hope would be he's the fourth receiver. I mean, I would think it's going to be Jalen Rager's going to play on the outside as the X, where usually Devontae Parker is, and do that stuff. Bourne's been playing really well. You need him. And then, Douglas is your first slot in, and that's maybe your main three that you're mostly running with. And then third and long, all right, let's get Juju some opportunities as the fourth receiver, the second slot, if you will, almost like the Danny Amendola to Edelman kind of, they would – when they get to those third and long situations. That's what I hope. I mean, I think everybody else, and we talked about it this week, everybody is freaked out and the word I used this week was that they're going to try to shoehorn him in, that they're going to, say, all right, our guy's back.
No.
But at the same time, with Paul's stuff about Parker, like, that's kind of encouraging to me in a way, because it means to me that they're legit considering what they have at wide receiver and saying, look, yes, we just gave Devontae Parker a new contract in June, but right now, Jalen Rager is performing better than him in practice, and we're not going to be tied to the contract. So I like, if that's the direction it's pointing, I like that. And I would hope it's the same way with Douglas.
They're not letting
Devontae
paychecks.
Parker was not on the injury report at all.
Right. So not letting paychecks dictate reps.
Yep.
And also, I would say, just from a baseline, giving some thought to the wide receiver position, which is something that, maybe doesn't get enough thought around here, or maybe the right kind of thinking. So
and he played and he got significantly less reps last game too.
Yeah, cut in half, basically cut in half. And so, I mean, maybe that's the full way. But, I don't think what we talked about all offseason, I don't think anybody's going to look at, Rager, Bourne, and Douglas and say, geez, look, it hasn't been productive yet. And that's why I think everybody wanted to jump to, like, Jalen Rager is something. I don't feel comfortable with that. He made one catch last week. He's got some speed, but we haven't seen production from him yet. So I don't want to sit on there and be like, oh, they finally got a fast lineup, because it hasn't been productive yet. Right. Maybe it can be productive today, and I just like the thought of actually having three guys out there that can all run. That to me alone is just a switch, but they got to produce.
All right, Erica in Virginia on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Hi, Erica.
Hello. How is everybody?
Excellent.
Good,
thank you.
Is Tamara still there?
I'm here.
She's here.
Did you get a chance to watch Silence of the Lambs over the past week?
She didn't.
I didn't.
And you know what? Here's the thing, Erica. She had a chance. She just didn't do it. Yeah, I know.
It's in my top 5. Woman, listen, you were in for a treat.
It's a good film. It is. It
really is.
The source material is wonderful, but the film is really well done. Okay.
Maybe I'll add it to my list of things to watch on our flight to Germany.
Yeah.
That's a great time for me to watch it.
Perfect.
Do.
Okay.
That's a great time for me to watch it.
And then I can listen into the podcast about how wonderful you thought the film was.
Yes.
There you go. Okay. What else you got for us?
I have one question, and then I'm going to skirt off the line for everybody else to call in.
Okay.
Does the O-line show up like they did last week, or is it another botch?
Excellent
and that's
question.
It, and I will love to hear y'all's response.
Thanks, Erica.
I
Good to
think
hear
it all
from you.
depends on the score.
Yeah.
I think if they can do Mike's key and get a lead and only throw the ball 30 times, I think they'll be okay. If they fall behind and they have to throw, they won't be.
Yeah, well,
I think it's totally dependent on the situation of the game.
Let's talk some personnel too. I mean, totally good point. Cole Strange off the injury report now, so something to consider. We've been, I think, giving him a little bit of time to recover and a little bit of understanding, but he hasn't been good yet. And he needs to be good today. Christian Wilkins, as Paul mentioned, is an awesome player. I just wonder if Connor McDermott got promoted from the practice squad. Do they consider putting him at right tackle? Do they consider putting Onwenu back at right guard? And do they consider giving City a chance at left guard if Cole Strange isn't playing up to snuff?
And I think that would give you an opportunity to have your 5 best too, because I think I would probably take So out and leave Strange there, but I think that would be your 5 best to have McDermott there instead of Onwenu, and then have Onwenu, not have to move positions. But to me, the bigger issue than I know we've made a lot of personnel because they've had 6 different groups in 7 games. I think that kind of proves like it doesn't really matter who the people are.
Yeah,
it's game dependent.
I'd say too. In the beginning of the summer, it seemed like Riley Reif and Connor McDermott were kind of the 1 and 2 options at right tackle, and then Reif got hurt. Well, Reif didn't even get hurt. He couldn't play there. They moved him inside, and then it really seemed
he got hurt.
It really seems that signs were maybe pointing toward McDermott being the starting right tackle this season, and then he got hurt in Green Bay and was released with an injury settlement. So there's a chance that this could today be kind of the ideal, for what it's worth, offensive line that they're looking for, but. Well, McDermott hasn't played in a year, so we'll see how he is.
And it was
does.
It was my favorite point made in the post game last week that Paul made. He said, "Yeah, the offensive line did play better today, but how much of that was a result of how the defense was attacking you as you built yourself a 10-point lead early on?
Yeah,
and it changes." How well you have to play.
Yeah,
how much work are we going to be put through?
I just looked at the stuff at the end of the game where the analytics sites are sort of citing the amount of pressure they had, and it was pretty much in line with most of. Now there were some games that were train wrecks when they lost 34 to or whatever it was that they lost in Dallas. Was it 30? Was it 38 to 3?
I lost track. Really.
38-3.
38-3. When you're like losing by 4 scores the whole game, obviously you're under pressure on half of the dropbacks. But a lot of the other games, it was like a third of the dropbacks you're under pressure. That happened last week.
Yep.
I think it was like 32.5%. So you're not throwing as often, and you're not throwing because you have to.
Right.
And that at least slows it down.
Yeah, and it feeds into your key too, Paul, which is throw when you don't have to, throw on first downs, and try to just. That's a good early way to keep the pressure off of them.
Paul's going to have to duck out here in a moment, but I want to get Floyd in Michigan on first. Floyd, what's going on?
Good morning, everybody.
How we doing?
Hi, Mr. Floyd.
Good morning, Mr. Floyd.
Well, Mr. Hardy, I'm going to give you credit for that Miami Vice reference. That was a groundbreaking show.
Thank you.
Miss Tamara Brown, my guy is Arkansas QB KJ Jefferson. Curious what you think about him. Mr. Paul, I want to give you credit for your great comment about Justin Herbert and the San Diego Chargers. It was such a good comment. Evan said amen.
Well, he appreciates it. He actually has to duck out for his appearance on the other show. But we are ready for your questions. Floyd, what do you have for us this week?
I have one question, and it's really a simple one, but it's one I've spent a lot of time thinking about.
Okay.
So within the last week, I've heard Mac Jones needs protection from his line. I've heard he can throw outside the number. I've heard he can throw off platform. And the pretty much exact words from Evan Lazar this week were that middle of the field. So he says, if he's not facing, pay attention to the wording, a ton of pressure, he should have enough. Now, you heard the wording. If he's not facing a ton of pressure, he should have enough. So my simple question is this, and this is really for my Patriot brothers and sisters and all. Why do you want him to be your quarterback? And please give me something other than, well, we don't want to start from scratch, because that sounds like the person in a relationship. I don't want to start all over again.
Yeah,
Why do you want him to be your quarterback? Give me like a reason. Give me some evidence. Give me something.
All right, Floyd. I think it's multifaceted. Number one, it is in direct relation to what else is available right now. And for people who want Mac Jones, they're not saying they want him for 10 years. They want him for the rest of this season. And I would even say, based on what I've seen from him going back to his rookie year, he is completely worthy of being in the room for another season. I don't know if he's going to be your quarterback next year, your starting quarterback, but I think he's perfectly acceptable as a guy in the room competing for the job throughout camp. You don't.
You're totally right. You wait. No, you. This is complimentary, Deuce, towards you, Hardy. You waded into that beautifully because it's a complex issue, and I think you explained it as well as anyone possibly could. And I think the way Floyd laid it out, it's hard to be like, this is why we want Mac Jones. It's not that easy. And you know, Floyd, you're right. You're right. I mean, we need more. And I don't think anybody right now feels like, you know, Mac is the guy to lead the Patriots to 3 Super Bowl titles and another dynasty or anything like that. It's just, I think I'm at the point right now. Let's see how he does these over the rest of these games. You know, things are starting to come together a little bit on offense last week. I don't know what it means. They could regress this week and look exactly like they've looked before. But I think we've all given a little bit of leeway with Bill O'Brien and a new system. And all right, that there should be a little bit of understanding there. And so, you know, it's just we talked about it on the show this week, and I think it's totally, unfortunately for some people, they don't want to hear it, but I think it's totally reasonable to expect that Mac Jones will be the quarterback here next year, barring the Patriots having a top 3 pick. You know, and outside of that, I think it's very likely that, you know, you got to continue just to build around him. You invested a first-round pick at the position. I know it hasn't gone perfectly, but Bill said Mac can play in this league. I agree. Mac can play in this league. I don't know what level he can get to, but I think that he can play in this league, and I think right now the team would be best served probably to continue to build around him. And if he isn't the guy, in 2 years, his rookie deal is going to be up. You'll be able to get out of it. You know, but I respect the question. I respect, you know, what people are saying and that they haven't seen it and that they're ready to move on. And if you don't have the guy, you got to just cut the cord and find the guy and, you know, not be afraid to start over and blow it up and build over. But from where I stand right now, with still, you know, 10 games to go this season, I think Mac has continued to earn a chance. But, you know, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think that he's the guy or anything like that. But last week he showed a little something, so we got to give him a little bit of respect, I think, based on what he did.
Is there a chance to say one final piece?
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me start by, I want to give him credit for what he did last week. Anybody trying to make light of it, it was an actual comeback. Give him credit.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback.
No.
I could be wrong about him. I could be wrong. I'm not Jesus. I could be wrong. But to sum up what I'm saying, it just seems like there's a lot of limitation around his ability, and it seems to limit play calling. It seems like it makes it easier to defend him. That's all I'm saying is I just think we can do better. I could be wrong. I just think we could do better. Thank you for taking
No problem,
good call, Floyd. I mean, I totally hear you. And you know what, and not to, you know, I hate making comparisons like this, but, you know, there's other quarterbacks in the league that we heard about their limitations before things started to click, you know, and I think there are other quarterbacks right now in the league that are, you know, have been playing well that you haven't really seen their limitations because things are so ideally put up around them. So I'm not saying that they're going to, you know, build the San Francisco thing around Mac and all of a sudden, you know, he's going to be good, but I still think Mac has talent. He has things that you can build around. I think he's a hard worker. I think, you know, everything you could ask from a quarterback off the field in terms of, you know, just what he does as far as work, as far as, you know, the guys in the locker room seem to really like him. And, you know, you saw it last week at the end of the game, everybody running over to dap Mac up and, you know, felt good about him stepping up. They hear what the critics are saying. They hear, you know, all this stuff about he's not the guy. So I think he earns a chance, but it's hard to construct a winning football team and, you know every right move to make. And you just don't want to be that team that every year you're drafting a quarterback and you're starting over and you're drafting a quarterback. So I'd much rather get to a point where if it doesn't work out with Mac, all right, he's year 5. We picked up his option. It's the 5th year. You know, this year, say you drafted a tight end or a tackle or somebody really good on offense. Next year, you draft somebody else. You've given him 2 drafts of really solid weaponry and protection and those kind of things. And, you know, if it still looks like it is and he can't get you over the hump, now it's time to change.
Right.
But you've got some other key pieces in place.
All right, quick pivot because our inactive just came
Let's
in.
go.
And Paul's whole theory just went out the window because Tyquan Thornton is inactive. So that's crazy. I was expecting it to be Devontae Parker. But Tyquan Thornton, Will Greer, Josh Uche, Vidarian Lowe, Calvin Anderson, Kayshawn Boutte.
Okay, and for
who was the last one?
I'm not saying it again because it's going to give you.
I think that one just
went by. It's going to open. Oh my God!
Were you trying for that one or? All right.
I'm very disappointed in Tyquan Thornton. I really liked, what we just talked about earlier.
You're disappointed that he is inactive?
Yes.
You make it sound like you're disappointed in him
I'm
personally.
disappointed that he's inactive.
Yeah.
We need the speed out there.
Yeah.
Even if he's just a decoy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this is probably. I mean, I think we all got thrown off by the Parker thing, him not being out there, which I did find surprising because I just think even if they were that down on Parker against his old team, he's got size. Like he's always, even if he's going to play half the snaps like he did last week, I think he's got stuff to contribute. So that really would have surprised me unless it was Paul's kind of thing of them trying to move him. But Thornton certainly has been disappointing. You got to give credit though to Jalen Reagor, who has risen up the ranks and talked this week about being labeled a bust, and he feels like he has a clean slate now and can just play. So we'll see. He's probably going to get plenty of chances today.
I wonder if it has something to do with I don't know. I forget who was talking about this on the show, but just with like some of the route running, just like not running fast, not running hard enough, not finishing the routes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's some of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was Evan who brought it up.
He did. I think he said there was one particular play where it seemed like Mac was signaling to him like you got to change that route, that kind of thing. So. It's been a disappointing start for Tyquan Thornton here. He's gotten both seasons he started off on IR. He just hasn't really been able to make many plays since against Cleveland last year. I think he had 2 touchdowns. So it's on one hand you're excited about Douglas and Reagor a little bit as guys who are rising up and have some skills, but it's also just disappointing a second-round pick from 2 years ago. Here we are. He's unable to get on the field.
All right, let's get back to the phones here. 855-PATS-500. You can also email webradio@patriots.com. Nick Baby Love joining us. What's going on, Nick?
Well, you guys know that I live here. Tamara may not know me, and I'm disabled. I'm legally blind, so they're taking me to the game. My paisan, Bob Sosi, invited me to the southwest corner of the end zone. That's where him and Zolak are broadcasting. And I've been trying to text Fred, if you're listening, dude, text me back.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be. You know me, Hardy. For me to go out and go to a game, like I could care less. I'd rather listen to you and watch it. But I'll have my Holy Cross funky cap on.
There we go.
And my last comment, besides the fact that I want to see Fred. Did anybody know if he got on a plane? Because he usually comes down. We usually have dinner when he comes to Florida.
I don't know when Fred went down. I don't know if any of us are made aware of Fred's personal travel plans, but the fact that he's ghosting you right now is completely unacceptable. Never mind the fact that he's actually working. But I'm sure when he has time, he will get back with you, Nick, and I hope you two can hook up.
What do the Sharps know?
Yeah. What happened to Nick? Is he gone? Oh, boy. We disconnected. I may have done that by accident. Sorry, Nick. All right. Keep rolling here. We're not breaking, are we? Want to? All right. Let's step aside here for a moment. More of your phone calls. Oh, we'll take the calls. Rodrigo in Brazil. Good. I don't want to keep Rodrigo waiting any longer. Go ahead. Rodrigo, you're on the Patriots pregame, fueled by Dunkin. What's up?
Hello, everyone.
How we doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, and I hope your guys are doing well.
We're doing great, thanks.
We had a really good game last week when Juju didn't play and Parker was really limited. Do you guys think it's possible for the team to finally sit one or both of them if they don't play well this game?
That's Juju and Parker?
Yeah.
I think you're already seeing it. I think Parker's already saw his snaps get cut in half, so we'll see today. I'm not sure how they feel about the production Reagor had, so he wasn't. But I think we're all curious to see what they do with Juju today, how big of a role he has, how often he's targeted. Saw way too many times early in the season. Don't really see anything out of him during the game, but then a big third down comes up towards the end of the game, and Mac's looking his way, and certainly have not connected on a lot of those plays and got to have it kind of moments. So I think this is a big element. I think if we look at the box score afterwards and you have more snaps for Juju than Pop Douglas, there are going to be some upset fans probably. Probably rightly so.
And again, if you're just joining us here, the Patriots inactives today: Tyquan Thornton, Will Greer, Josh Uche, Verdarian Lowe, Calvin Anderson, Keyshawn Booty are the inactives against the Dolphins today. Dean in Raleigh, North Carolina. What's going on, Dean? Thanks for being on the Patriots pregame.
Hey, guys. I'm just calling in from sunny Raleigh. I'm out here for an impromptu practice with my son's middle school football team.
Nice.
Cool story, long-time Patriots fan. I heard the discussion about Mac Jones there a couple of calls ago, and just wanted to get your opinion on where you think Mac Jones could max out. Does he max out at a Purdy? Does he max out at a Cousins? Does he max out at a Dak? What kind of quarterback are we looking at? Because I'm a big fan. I think if you get the weapons around him and give him some protection, there's no reason why this team couldn't be ultra successful.
Well, what do you? So, I'm not throwing shade. Honestly, I'm not. You say you're a big fan of Mac Jones. What are you a fan of? What about his game are you a fan of?
I think it's his IQ, right? It's not his arm talent. It's the IQ, and he fits the Patriots mold to a T. And so, he's extremely coachable. Like you said, the guys in the locker room like him. He went, what did he do, 28 for 34 last week or something? I mean, highly efficient if you get the throws out on time.
Yeah, Dean, I'm sorry. We're assuming facts, not in evidence. I don't know if he's well-liked and well-respected by all members of the locker room. And when you say coachable, I mean, wasn't that the whole narrative last year, that he wasn't on board with the coaching and the offense and that he seemed to be a bit of a problem? And I don't blame him for having problems with the way the offense ran last year, but you just can't make a blanket statement like, oh, he's got the locker room and he's supremely coachable. I don't know if any of those things are understood to be facts.
Well, I tell you what, there's one aspect of coachable, and then there's another aspect where as a competitor you just get ultimately ticked off with sheer incompetence. Right.
And I am down with you on that 100%. Hey, good luck with your practice today. Paul, you just got back in here, and now we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk to Nick in Australia first.
No, we could take a break.
Okay, we'll do that.
Rude.
And then we'll continue with the Patriots pregame show, which is fueled by Dunkin. Kick off your week with free coffee Mondays, every Monday from now until October 30th. That's tomorrow. Dunkin' Rewards members can get a free medium hot or iced coffee with purchase. Nothing beats Dunkin' Rewards. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per Monday. Exclusions apply. Additional charges and terms may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Dunkin' Rewards members, score big. Get a free medium hot or iced coffee every Monday all month long with purchase. Not a member? Join on the app right now. America runs on Dunkin'.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced.
Cool story, Hansel.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Dunkin' Rewards members, score big. Get a free medium hot or iced coffee every Monday all month long with purchase. Not a member? Join on the app right now. America runs on Dunkin'.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
TouchView Interactive
On the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Johnny, euphonic.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
They started with the stop and a
yes,
score.
I need you to put
And now it looks they might pick themselves up for it.
Yes.
All right, I know it's silly. I
Could you
probably
do
won't
one
win
in
the
dirty limerick form?
what
like
is
Bill has a place in Nantucket. I don't know. Start with that.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Boy, Tamara got that key to the game and screwed. She's out of here.
That's all she wanted.
Taking that key so
Taking
long.
a run.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever see it again?
I don't know. I mean, there's no rule against how many. It's not like, elected office. You can win the key week after week after week after week. So maybe this is the start of a run that we have not seen.
The Tamara dynasty of keys.
Oh, my God.
She's just crushing it every week.
Oh.
So I didn't get a chance to be with you guys when the wide receiver stuff came down. You know, obviously Parker is in, Thornton is out.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, a little. I mean, I said a little less surprising that's how it went. So just, I guess, a little lesson. Don't read too much into who's out early for warmups.
Yeah, I have no thoughts.
Okay.
I don't know. Some disappointed Tyquan
My thought
Thornton
is it's
fans
not
out
very
there,
good
though.
for Tyquan Thornton's future.
Yeah.
No.
To be a healthy scratch at this stage
Did you
of the
trade
season.
him?
Sure, but, for what, a conditional seventh?
Yeah. And, Tamara feels bad, because of the way that Mike, both of you had, laid it out pretty well with, his time here so far. It's been disappointing.
Lackluster.
Yeah, it's been disappointing.
Yeah.
I think a player that
particularly when George Pickens went 2 picks later.
Okay, well, you don't have to bring that up.
Well, that's part of the story.
Particularly when I think, like, I've been here a few years
like
now,
that
so
story.
I've watched all the training camps, and you see certain rookies pop right away. Like, right away, you see certain rookies that, like, that guy looks like he could probably play. Like, I think that was with Douglas. He moved at a different level.
Douglas was better this year in camp than Thornton was last year.
Hey, but
in
even
camp.
like you can just see it with your eyes on the field, and with Thornton, never really you saw that
Mike,
speed come together.
Don't ever stop trusting your eyes.
Yeah, eyes tell me a lot.
By the way, before we get back into it, I want to thank you. I want to thank the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them: indoors, outdoors, scenic views, city vibes, solo or family style. We did a bunch of it yesterday. Let me recommend that Paul Revere Milling Museum that kind of is in development in Canton.
Beautiful.
You want to see a box of elastics from the Plymouth Rubber Company? They've got them on display. They're there. Plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com.
Was that solo that you were there, or did you go family?
That was
style?
family style.
Oh, that was family style.
And we were initially
You just went along.
Initially I was hurt by his words. Initially we were outdoors, but then we went indoors. We kind of did it all, and then I did some solo time in the garage yesterday while the family visit is happening. I did pretty much everything that the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism recommends you do in one day yesterday. Indoor, outdoor, solo, and family style. I
Massachusetts.
did it all.
That's awesome.
Get some.
I did it all.
You didn't get any golfing in, though, huh?
Solo style.
Oh, Paul, you are a caution.
I did.
Let's get back to the phones here. And he shot a 43 on the front. Oh, he's on the first hole. His driver
With your
hit a
clubs.
Good 3-wood. Yeah, I only had about 138. I took a 9-iron. It was a really good approach. See, I actually listened.
Listen, if you listened, you'd know that I had too much club.
I thought you said you were 120, 130.
I was about 130, and I used an 8-iron, and I was too long.
I could have told you that.
Well, I wasn't used to using your fancy new clubs, Hardy.
All right.
That was
for the effort.
That was the whole point of the story.
Well, all right, never mind. New to you. New to you clubs.
Because you gave them to me.
I did. All
out of
right.
the kindness of your heart.
Nick in Australia. Hi, Nick. What's going on, buddy? Nick! I watched a good. Oh, I wanted to talk to Nick about
It's another strong throw.
Australian. There you go. That's all for Fred Kirsch listening right now. Just made his day.
That was Morel.
No, that was an actual hang-up sound from Australia. I started watching an Australian sitcom last night on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
That
Which
apparently my wife has already been watching and
What's the name of
recommended
it?
to my mother. It's called Fisk.
Fisk.
It's
The
really
newer
good.
one.
I think so. I don't know. It's funny though. Liked it. It's good. Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Cool story, Hansel.
Yeah, that's twice you've used that in the last 10 minutes, Morel.
Deservingly so.
In the face.
How about Tony in Canada? Let's see if you get the Morel cracking wise about anything you have to say today, Tony. Don't want you to be left out.
So you're looking for wisecracks?
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll
Tony,
see.
Tony, you've done it again.
Go ahead.
This would be perfect for a sound effect. Dum, dum, dum. Anyway, when I heard Australia, first thing I thought about was Australian football. I had a friend in college or university.
Cool story,
He
Hansel.
played rugby, and he used to hit. You guys, I haven't got to the punchline. You're gonna laugh. He used to hit. He used to crack his forehead with ashtrays and brag about it.
Oh my
That's what I
God!
thought about
Who the hell cares?
No one does. Anyway, I heard you talking about Parker,
Yeah.
and I didn't mention it a couple weeks back, but I can't believe that guy's still playing. I was really upset when I heard him talk about, the fingertip catch and all that.
Yep.
He's not playing well, but give someone else a chance. Give one of the rookies a chance, because at least, Parker's demonstrated he's not playing well and he's got a crappy attitude. And that's something I was never used to seeing with the Patriots, as players that would react that way to the game. So the other thing is about Mac. Mac came back last game and came up, it played his best when the game was on the line. And something that wasn't mentioned was he did the same thing the very week before. He dropped a dime in Parker's hands. Parker makes that catch. They're in field goal range.
No,
So
they
that
were
would
on their
be
own
two
side of the
games in
field.
a
But
row
we
where
did
he
mention it.
He would bring us back.
We mentioned it at length, actually, that I called it the best throw of his career.
Yeah.
Right, and he followed it up with the same thing the week after. So anyway.
No. Stop.
No. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Have a good game.
He made a really good throw against the Raiders that was dropped.
Yeah,
He didn't lead a game-winning drive against the Raiders. The next play he got sacked in the end zone for a safety. He made a good throw against the Raiders that Parker should have caught. Yeah. That is correct. What would have happened after that, we have no idea. They were still on their side of the field. We have no idea what would have happened. Against the Bills, he led a game-winning touchdown drive. I know that suddenly this week it's turned into consecutive game-winning touchdown drives by Mac Jones. That didn't happen.
And be fair, because Parker had a catch on that drive too last week. He contributed on that.
I am not taking anything away from Mac Jones's throw against the Raiders in Vegas. It was perfect. It hit him right in the hands. It was a tremendous throw, not an average everyday NFL throw. That was a tremendous throw. It didn't get caught. But you don't get credit for a game-winning drive when you didn't even crack the 10-yard line.
When you didn't win.
No.
But it
was one throw.
Didn't even get over the 10, Hardy.
Okay, but
he could have completed a pass on the next play.
Tony, thank you for the call. Hope you call back in the post game. Always good to hear from you.
It's not 2 weeks in a row is my point.
I know. No. But do you blame Mac for the safety on the next play?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
He's not the only one to blame.
Okay.
The biggest blame goes to, in my opinion, Bill O'Brien.
Okay, but it's also
for having Mike Gesicki lined up outside of Vidarian Lowe against Max Crosby.
Yeah. I looked at that play as, the situation and the pressure and a lot of stuff. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, what a boneheaded move. Now
he had a throw to make and didn't make it.
Okay.
That's all. I think you're in the end zone. How much time do you think you're getting?
Yeah.
You have to get the ball out.
And you know who's on the right side of the line, and
right.
you know how it's been going, and it's. I think that point they got to just
mean to him all game.
You got the two guys
they're
on
very,
the aircraft carrier, just come on, Max Crosby, right this way, right through there.
That guy with the neck tattoos was just tackling him all game.
He's very intense.
And Mac did not play well against the Raiders. He did not have a good game against the Raiders. He made a great throw against the Raiders.
Yeah.
This game against Buffalo, I thought he played really well, and he was great in the fourth quarter. He was good. Then he was when he had to be really good, he was really good at the end. And that's what you want from your quarterback. All the accolades you want to give Mac Jones for Buffalo, I would absolutely co-sign on. But this is not two great performances in a row, which it's suddenly becoming. Because this now goes back to the second half of the Raiders game when they had a 17-play touchdown drive when they were down 9 points in the fourth quarter.
And, Tony, just think of it this way. You're really not officially part of the show until Paul either yells at you or yells at a take that you bring up. So now he's in.
That was more yelling at a take that he brought up.
And that
is correct.
That's why I folded that into the whole thing.
Because I go back and I think you opened the show with a lot of Paul snark that was accurate. When you opened the show and you said, in San Francisco and around the league, no one looks at the Niners and says, well, you see, they lost to Minnesota. They're not a good team. But
they're a good team that had a bad game.
They're still one of the best teams in football who had a bad night. The Patriots were 1-5 and beat a good football team in Buffalo, and suddenly they're a good team now.
Right.
If you win 8 in a row, then okay. The narrative changes. This is what I was trying to say during the course of the week on Patriots Unfiltered. Well, what if they beat Miami? What if they beat Miami? Oh, well, I don't know. You're 3-5, and you're still in last place if you beat Miami. Then the other thing that I don't get, division record, Hardy, division record. You have to be tied with somebody for the division record to count for anything. So,
right, 3-1 in the division only means something if you're tied with
somebody. So if the Patriots beat Miami today, I will certainly feel a lot better about the Patriots' future in the last half of the season. Now you have beaten consecutive good teams,
right?
Especially today in Miami. You absolutely have a chance now at 3-5, but they have a long way to go. That I think people have already just built the bridge.
Yeah.
Washington, win. Colts, win. Giants, win. like they're going to win some of those games. They're going to lose some of those games. It's just the way that they are.
Yeah, to me, it's just about, I think, today staying relevant and staying, like, do you want to have a chance to have meaningful games in November and December? It's win today. If you lose today, I'm sure that they'll be up half, but it just seems like you're going to be over your head and fighting an uphill battle
when we
the rest
start
of the
when
way.
we start looking at the rest of the schedule and all this stuff. Look, I understand there are winnable games on there, but they've already lost 2 games that they quote unquote should have won.
Sure.
And they've already lost 2 games that were must wins in the first 5 weeks of the season. So I'm not getting overly caught up.
They're 1 and 2 in must wins.
As
Well, there you
crazy
go.
as it sounds, that's how those games were approached. That's how we thought of them. That's how you, and I know mathematically and blah 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 blah, but it's kind of playing out that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was a really good win and an excellent fourth quarter and final drive from the Patriots and the offense last week. Let's see.
Right.
Let's see today. And after today, you may I think it's fine to start to change your opinion of this team and what their identity is, and maybe for the Dolphins too. That's fine. But you got to get the win today before we can have those before we can start to have those conversations. To me, last week was too early to start having those conversations.
Yeah, one win over the Bills, as impressive as it was, it just doesn't wash the stink of how these games have been going for the last year and a half, 2 years, immediately. And it gives you a little bit of like, oh, they have done it. They have done it.
That's the best thing
Gotta
to
do
me.
it
And
again.
I keep saying this. When we got up from the game last Sunday, I looked at Fred. I go, that was fun.
Yeah.
Right.
And I looked at, because I hadn't been beaten down by everybody all week. So maybe if I sound a little cranky now, it's more of a result of, to me, what was really exciting and fun about it was that the offense finally had a productive day. Finally, I thought for 4 quarters they looked like a competent unit. They didn't play great on every play. It wasn't perfect, but they moved the ball throughout the day and put enough points on the board to win the game. And oh, by the way, when the game was on the line, they really came up with a big drive and won the game. Like, that's, if they can do that more consistently, then you can start talking about digging out of this hole. But can we let them do it before we say it's done? That's the only pushback that I would have. And believe me, I have been wrong about a lot of things over the years, and I have no problem telling you when I didn't see something coming. Like, if you had told me in 2018, after those back-to-back losses to Pittsburgh and Miami in December, that they weren't going to lose again, I would have said, no way. No way. They did. They won the Super Bowl. They never lost again. So I have no problem with changing the narrative when it needs to change. Put another good offensive performance today, and the pieces are in place to do it. Miami is really banged up. I've been saying this a little snarkily all week. The Patriots are missing 2 guys on defense. The other teams are missing like 5. Like, this is a team that they should be able to move the ball against. Move the ball and score some points today and help out your defense, like you did last week.
That's fair. All right, William in Philadelphia. Hello, William. Welcome in the Patriots pregame show. Fueled by Dunkin. What's up?
What's up now? Just questions for Paul, basically. Just 2. Why is Tyquan Thornton inactive? He's not injured enough, is he?
Nope.
No. He's ineffective.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Wow. That hurts.
I mean,
Huh?
we don't know this for sure, but he played 3 plays last week, and after at least one of them, maybe 2, got blistered by Mac Jones on the field. Like, my only guess is, and I'm not telling you that, I say this all the time, I'm a quarterback apologist. When I see the quarterback gesturing to someone, I automatically assume the guy he's gesturing to is wrong, not the quarterback. Maybe Mac was wrong. I don't know. But I don't think he's where he's supposed to be. On the field, I think one of those sacks, was on him, or a pressure that he had to throw the ball away early in the game was on Tyquan Thornton. And I don't think Mac was happy with it, and he didn't play much the rest of the game. He didn't play at all the rest of the game. 3 snaps he played.
Gotcha.
That's my guess, Willem and Philem.
Yeah.
That's my guess. as to why he's inactive today, but who knows?
All right, so I also wanted to apologize. Basically, I had to hang up though. I heard you when you was trying to get me to. I guess you wanted to say what you wanted to say. Basically, I guess in terms of the wide receivers, but I had to go because I was still at work whatnot. But other than that, my last question is this. Okay, so I guess you say you hear around. I guess the fans saying the Patriots don't have no weapons and whatnot. Maybe I can help you out a little bit. So, do you feel as though that the weapons that we have now are better than the ones from last year, or it's not that much different?
I mean, not that much different, I would say.
Exactly. So that's probably why the fans are just saying that. You know what I mean? That's
I don't think they have great weapons. I wouldn't argue that they have a great set of skill guys. I think that they have, like last week, enough weapons to move the ball and put some points on the board from time to time.
True.
And last week they did it.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Pat. And let's see if we can pull this one out.
Appreciate it, William. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Willem.
We'll go to Adam in Longmeadow. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, I got a couple questions for you guys.
All right.
So, in your guys' opinion, what's going on with Malik Cunningham? I mean, it seems they activated him, they waived him, they put him back on the practice squad. It seems like he's got the talent. I just don't know. What do you guys think is going on there?
Oh, I don't know that he has the talent.
Yeah, when does that seem to be the case?
Yeah, not as a quarterback. If we're going to dip into what happened when they activated him and had him as the backup quarterback a couple weeks ago, I have no idea what happened there.
I don't either.
I mean, it feels like now he's back to where he should be, which is a practice squad, quarterback, give them looks, maybe try some wide receiver stuff. But I think when he got into the game, he didn't look like he was ready to go. Wasn't ready to play quarterback for this team. It seems like he's still buried on the depth chart, and as he should be. So I don't know. I think those days are probably gone. I'm expecting he'll be on the practice squad the rest of the year and kind of doing his thing behind the scenes.
Once again, I mean, if you just want to look at it from the perspective of what do the Patriots think of him, unfortunately, probably along the same lines as Bailey Zappi, somebody who they have called upon and wanted to contribute. And for Zappi's case, he did last year, but this year not so much. And if you waive a guy and you put him out there and someone else can pick him up, that tells you a lot about what you need to know. You can think you've got a read on the rest of the league and what other teams will do, but any other team could have plucked him and taken him, and the Patriots were okay with that happening.
Yeah, you're right. A couple of times now, I think. So the other question I got for you guys is it my imagination, or is most of the passes that they're having Mac Jones do are like screen passes?
Well, they're short. I mean, I wouldn't say they're all screens,
They're not
but
all
yes, everything comes out quick, and I think he was the second fewest air yards last week.
Oh, he's like 4 yards through the air.
Yeah.
is what it averaged out to last week. So
second shortest in the league.
Yeah.
I think only to that Division II guy from Chicago.
Thank
right?
goodness they're not
Tyson
all screens.
Bagent.
The screens tend to be behind the receiver and often to the back shoulder, which is not what you're looking for on those.
Is that that sounds like it might be show related for you?
What?
Is that something that Zoe has talked about, that he's got a
No, that's something. That's something that I see.
Oh,
when he's throwing those screen passes,
He does his own football analysis as well.
Well, we saw it again last week.
He's learning us something.
No, he can actually.
It's not just music trivia with this guy.
No. I do talk about the music on that music show.
Do you talk about the music?
It is the oddest of juxtapositions to see a guy who can drop that ball into Parker on the second to last play against the Raiders, which got dropped, and see him do that and see him not be able to complete we look at it as something, that's easy. Like any quarterback, any starting quarterback in the NFL should be able to complete a screen pass on the, if there were a dime up there where the ball is supposed to be, that ball should hit it nose first 10 out of 10 times. And he has problems with those. And I don't know if it's timing. I don't know if it's footwork. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know what it is. But I would just say, Adam, not to get too far off your question here, thank goodness they are not, as you said, all screens or a lot of screens. No, they're a little further downfield than that sometimes, but through the air about 4 yards last week. That was the average.
Something like that, yeah.
And I'm generally kind of. Go ahead.
It just seems like to me like they're all super short, and it seems like they were when I was watching last week anyway. They were mostly Like it looked like they were sprints to me, to the untrained eye. But, I see all these other quarterbacks all across the league, they're all throwing it way downfield. Once in a while when they trust him to do that, usually he does, maybe 50% of the time he makes the play. So,
yeah.
I don't know, it's a little frustrating.
Well, it is, and it's just weird. I likened it, I think, on this show and on the other show, too, is like John Lester throwing to first. It's got like it's like a hiccup. He's just got like a little twitch there.
Yeah.
It's like he just.
I don't know. I don't get too carried up in that. I mean, I think it's like the protection is related to that as well. Like how much do we trust our guys to hold up? I just think if Mac has a great game and he executes everything they need to execute,
yeah,
they're good enough. He'll be good enough to move the ball at a reasonable pace and hit enough variety of passes, deep, short. I don't think that he's so hamstrung that he can only complete 3-yard passes, and that's where I think
I think
okay.
that's part of everything.
Yeah.
It's part of the protection. It's part of the lack of explosiveness. It's part of him.
Yeah.
I think it's got a lot of things that work.
That's
it's not
why
because he can't ever throw the ball downfield, but they have not completed as many of those passes as they probably would like. I saw Kendrick Bourne talked about that this morning, and I think in Mike Reese's notes he said we got to start connected on some of those a little bit more often.
And in fairness, I mean, and you said it in the last caller, it's mostly a similar group to what it was last year, but I think, you're starting to see now, like, can Rager get behind the defense once and see a shot? You haven't really had deep speed to work with as much as you want to say Tyquan Thornton should have been that guy. I don't think he ever really was that guy, but, between Douglas and Rager, some guys with some actual speed out there that, maybe today we can see them get behind some coverage and, for Mac to hit him behind, because it's hard to really judge it, I think, when Mac's best deep threat was Parker, who's a contested catch guy, and he's not going to dust somebody and get separation and really get down the field. It's, every time he's thrown that pass, even the one that Parker dropped, it's everybody's hanging on him, and it's, right there, and it's not like he's running free. So maybe that's something that can develop, and with some of these new guys, you can see it from Mac, hopefully.
You want to watch Deuce's head explode, Paul?
Yeah. What do you got?
All right, looking at warm-ups here, they got the silver pants on. You know what I'm noticing, Deuce? The piping on the pants does not match the piping on the shoulders.
I know.
Have you ever noticed that?
I've noticed it many times, and you gotta could we just go with the white, like a white stripe on the sides? But hey, I'll take it. I think it's a nice look down there in Miami. And
Paul, you've been around
the gray pants.
for many years,
too long.
a long time. They can't just make new silver pants and introduce them as part of the uniform now, right? I mean, that's seriously. It's like, why don't they do pants that have the stripe? Because this has to be approved months in advance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can't just change the piping midstream.
Okay,
it's impossible.
I'm asking Paul when I have uniform boy over here.
That's
who
true.
has all the
Uniform
answers.
man.
I also wonder what would the white stripe look like on the silver.
I don't know if it would look good. I don't know if it would look good. I don't know if it would look good.
Okay, did I take it too far? Sorry.
I just don't know if it'd be appropriate to have a white stripe on a silver pant.
We could workshop that this week, and we'll get back to you.
Miami out there in their all whites after Labor Day. Faux pas.
They got the throwback.
They're
the Dolphin throwback.
Yeah, it's a throwback day.
Very nice.
They have the end zone painted like the old Orange Bowl days.
Could have gone red down there.
All
too.
that. I was surprised the Patriots didn't throw it back. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, it would have been a good time for everybody.
Yeah,
Todd in North Carolina, Patriots pregame, fueled by Dunkin. Hi, Todd.
Hey, guys. I just want to play off something that Paul said and you guys have been talking about, and then I guess Evans brought up. We used to be a team known for players with high football IQ. I'm not saying they're super intelligent, but they really understand the game, right? We don't seem to have, and in the same manner, I'm not saying these guys aren't intelligent. I'm saying they don't seem to have the football IQ of players we've had in the past. There seems to be lacking, and I think Thornton's a good example. I know N'Keal Harry didn't have the physical traits that we need to be a good receiver, but he also didn't seem to – he had the same problems. He wasn't in the right place. We know Bourne doesn't always seem to be 100% running the right route, at least according to Evan.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why have we lost those players that we used to really covet that had that high football IQ that could really do great things? I think Gonzalez is an example of somebody who could, but on offense, I just don't see it.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I mean, I think it's been a problem at the wide receiver position for a while.
Yeah, I think people have talked about that with Douglas, too.
Yeah.
I think part of it, too, is you had a substitute teacher in for all of last year who screwed up and went off the lesson plan. And severely impacted the intelligence quotient of
Do you
the
ever think
entire
he thinks to
offense.
himself, like, how are they going to continue to work in shots about me? Like, they still can't run from here to there without falling down.
You talk about players who were here last year, and it's like, oh, these guys don't seem too smart on offense because he had the mad scientists and they're screwing everything up for an entire season last year.
To Todd's point, I do think that it used to be you had like the Welkers and Edelmans and Gronks and Mosses that were really Troy Brown, exceptionally good football smarts. And then, you would have a guy come in like Doug Gabriel or way back in the Wayback Machine, Donald Hayes. Remember Donald Hayes?
Boy.
There was some guys that came in, and then there's some veterans like Joey Galloway and others that just didn't pick it up. Ocho Cinco.
Right.
They just didn't pick it up. But it was okay because you had 3 or 4 others that were exceptionally mentally tough, mentally strong with their assignments and all that stuff. Now it seems like it's the opposite. Now it seems like they have more guys than not that are occasionally not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but I will say I like the fact that they at least have some of this receiver depth now with the opportunity to make changes. I just don't think they ever really had that last year. It was you were kind of stuck with what they had, and we'll see what Jalen Reagor actually ends up being. We'll see what Demario Douglas actually ends up being, but I just like that they at least have competition there now, and that way it gives them a baseline to kind of saw away guys who aren't picking it up or are struggling, or as the injuries have popped up, they've had just somewhere else to go, and I think that's added a little bit of intrigue to the offense this year with some of these new faces.
But it could be, you know what, Paul? We always try and find a reason and a cause and effect. Maybe you did get really lucky there with 3 or 4 players over the years who were borderline savants when it came to the game, whether Gronkowski, Edelman, James White.
Your number
that guy was just...
You got your number ones.
But you know what the other thing is? It's the obvious.
Oh, well, that's just somebody throwing them the ball.
Well, but I do think that he demanded a lot mentally.
Yeah.
Brady was, when you said the thing about a substitute teacher, I thought what you were going to say was they also had a teacher on the field. In Brady, and now at the end,
the
of
honors
his
student who's like the nerd helping everybody.
But at the end,
I got this teach. I'll.
And at the end of his career, right? At the end of his career, it turned into like almost a negative. Like people used to say, like, because he was too demanding. Because
you're icing out our star receivers,
right? No one could get up to his level mentally.
Well. Yeah, then a new kid would transfer
all kinds
in from
of
another
uncomfortable
class.
dancing going on with Mac Jones on the field.
That's
right
why.
And Brady was like, I don't even have time for this kid. He's got too much for him to catch up on. I'm not coming to OTAs. Forget the new kids.
That's why he got sort of criticized.
Yeah.
When I watched there's a lot of stuff going on.
Dancing.
Yeah.
Partying.
Is that Bourne? I don't know.
Yeah.
Juju was involved in that a little bit with Mac.
Feeling it.
I always like to watch some of these and see who's interacting with the other team. So it was funny. I saw Will Greer and Cedric Wilson.
You got to do who do they play together?
Dallas.
Okay.
They were both probably together in
What's
Dallas.
the connection?
Yeah.
I think Greer was in Dallas 2 years ago, right?
Waddle and Mack had a nice
3 years ago.
meet up there at midfield.
Oh, little Bama.
Yep.
Bama, Alabama.
That's right. Hey, how are you doing? Good. How are you doing? We both went to Alabama. Have a good game. You too. Goodbye.
You ever get when you get the substitute teacher? I can't help but thinking about this when you brought it up, like a film strip. Remember, like film strips, like you get you come in and you're like, oh, this teacher's not here, and you see just like this little film projector in the middle, and then somebody had to sit there, beep, and turn it. Remember that?
Film strips were the worst. When they brought in the full movie camera, and it's like, all right, at least we get a moving picture.
Right.
But the film strip projector, gross.
Like a teacher used to have to load up a film projector in class, and you'd have a reel of film, and
I'll tell you how old I am.
Blood runs red on the highways.
Blood runs red on the highway.
We had
that's that moving violations movie, right?
Red asphalt, blood on the highway. That's Dragnet. We used to have a record that would go on a record player.
Oh, you got to time it up.
Start the record, and then beep, and then someone would have to turn the film strip.
He's just sitting there
Oh yeah.
The human body.
Zeus didn't have record players in his school.
No, he's a young man.
You have vinyl?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe elementary school, but we had tape recorders and stuff.
I do remember elementary school. You had to turn the film strip
to
sync up with the audio.
Like,
Right.
yes,
Bad.
no school. We're just gonna watch a film strip today about some.
For Paul,
nonsense.
it was everyone put your slates away.
Your abacus
in the inkwell.
Okay, that was obnoxious.
Was that uncalled
The,
for? Still
the,
roll
the,
with
over the
feathers?
top
The
laugh.
slate was not
the
uncalled
over the
for?
top laugh. Out of line.
Okay.
And a bit unsettling. I've never seen that face before. I don't want to see it again.
I would call
Cynthia's
it
got a projection. Her projection. She doesn't do predictions. She does projections.
Which-
Eight catches, 103 for Tua.
I just-
Cynthia. She gets projections. Rest of us predictions, but data analyst. Hey, there's Bill. Oh, the Mackett. Uh-oh.
Is that not good? Did you like? And honestly,
the what?
Hardy, have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah, that's the 2021 hot jacket with the red. You might notice the Croatia flag on the side, but unfortunately, 2 weeks ago against the Raiders, Bill fell under 500 in that particular piece of garb. I believe he's
I thought
now.
you were going to say that
Do you
particular
still
piece
keep
of
track of
garbage.
this stuff?
13 and 14. Yeah.
Is it still published?
Oh yeah. No, it's just. I mean, it's just a Google Doc.
just
with
for him.
Each game, you got to keep track of it, and I got to keep it rolling.
Was it part of your employment agreement here that you could no longer keep the hoodie blog live online?
No, it was not discussed in my contract. Luckily, so I'm still able to go continue. Oh, Joe Judge, no hat today. Not recognizing him there.
Oh, wow.
Bold choice down in that Miami Heat, Joe. I hope you got sunblock on.
That is.
You next, Joe. You next.
Joe Frazier. Well, they're getting.
They're
after
talking about the most football minutia that you can possibly get right now,
You
like
think
the
so?
angle of the
You
sun.
don't think they're talking about what they're going
or
to eat
some-
later?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that it's about. So they said 12 to 13 miles per hour. I think it might be closer to 13. So we're probably going to have to kick it a little bit more. It's like that kind of stuff.
We're going to Joe's Stone Crab later. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if
Jack
I can.
Jones.
John Jones. Jack Jones.
It's a lot of Joneses.
Oh, good schoolers then. All right. Now,
School
what do you
got a defensive snap last week.
I think Matt Morrell,
He can run guys down.
senses a slowdown here in the pregame show. He's recommending we go to
He's
over-unders.
not the best producer in the business for nothing.
Let's do it.
It's time for this week's edition of Over Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
I don't even know what happened last week. Anybody have a good week last week, Matt?
Oh, wow.
Paulie, 6-0.
Yes.
Paul.
Wow.
Followed by Hardy, 5-1. Mike, 4-2.
Good week for everybody.
Sorry, Hardy.
Good job, everybody.
No, I mean, excellent week for you, Paul.
Sorry.
Great week for me. Good week for Mike.
Yeah.
That's all.
Season totals: Paul 24-18, Mike 22-20, Hardy 20-22.
Okay. I
right.
still think that I still like my chances for the season. I truly do.
Today's over-unders are the battle of the quarterbacks. Jones passing yards 225.5.
Oh.
Hold on a second.
theme.
Hold
A
on.
theme?
A theme.
Yep, I themed him this week. Why not?
I themed him. Is that a verb? Can you
It is
theme
now.
something? I'm going to go over on Mac Jones. I'm feeling like he's going to move the ball. Maybe not 300, but I think he can get over 225 today.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over too. Yeah, I'm just going to stick. I'm not going to overthink it. Over.
Yeah, based on what they're dealing with defensively today, let's go over. Let's have some fun.
Tua passing yards 278.5.
Paul.
I'm going to take the under on that. I think that they will. I think if Miami plays the way they want to, they get a lead, and I don't think they're looking to sort of rack up yards in this game. So I'm going to take the under.
It's still a healthy number for a team playing with a lead, but I think you're right. I think Tua can get.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going. No, I'm going under. I'm going under.
I think he's going to break it. I'm going to go over. I'm not sure what that says about what kind of game is going to unfold, but I think he's going to hit 300.
Tua's longest completion 38.5. I can't read today.
Now, this does seem to work in contrast to going under on the 278.5, but I think he can find one receiver once for a. Yeah, I'm going over.
Yeah, I think Patriots are pretty good at long plays. I'm gonna go under, and I know that's counterintuitive,
No,
just
I
like yours
that.
is.
I
I'm
like
going
the,
under.
I like the action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under on that.
Mac Jones' longest completion 35.5 yards.
Oh, that's long. 35. I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, I will take the under as well. Hasn't had many, if any, over that, has he?
That Parker one, though, would have been, Paul.
That's true.
It would have been a 100-yard pass, probably.
Hardy?
You know me.
I do.
The action is the juice.
That is true.
You're down with OPP.
Over.
Mac Jones rushing yards, 5.5.
That's you, Paulie Paul.
I'm going to take the over. 5.5. Come on.
I think
I have
so.
to take the over.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm with you guys. I think that everybody's covered. I got to run. And 7 yards later.
He did have an 18-yard run against Miami in the first meeting.
There you
It was
go.
the longest play of the day.
By design.
It was not. It was the longest play of the day for the Patriots in that game.
And finally, the total score was 47 this week.
Yeah, part of me just rooting for another entertaining ball game. I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going over too. I gotta.
Yeah, the final score that I have in my head puts it actually right on the number. So I'm going to say over because I'd rather root for the over than the under.
You guys are only in opposition on one of your picks. Just lame.
Great minds.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck.
That's how we
both.
planned it.
All right. Good.
Oh, screw you.
Let's emails here at webradio.patriots.com. This is from Dexter in Santa Rosa. If we win today, afterward in the locker room, will there be a yeah, or will we get another family on 3? I would love to hear Paul's conspiracy theory on why they did that last week.
I do not have any this was a little thing I think that you guys tried to do on your station, Hardy.
You try to make it a thing.
It was more so the morning guy. I think it was Fred and Rich. I think mostly Rich was trying to wonder, is this like a sort of a reaction to Teddy Bruschi?
Well, Paul, I got more respect for Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah, and I don't think it had anything to do with anything other than a switch.
Yes.
They just talked about family in the locker room.
We did. I was right there. They asked him this week about it, Slater, and as he said, I got a ton of respect for Teddy Bruschi. I think it was just a spur of the moment thing. I think kind of looking at what this team is and what this team needs, and Slater spoke to the fact of a team. Obviously when teams are losing, everybody's trying to tear them apart. But I just think he felt like this was appropriate, and I kind of agree because the thing, it's nice, but it's so connected to just a different team, a different mindset right now. I don't know if they get back to that that tradition, but I just think there's got to be a lot of guys in those locker rooms like, what are we doing? What are we supposed to do? And have to explain it. I think this is a new team. They need to let some of those things kind of go. So I wouldn't be opposed to not seeing it in that format again. I don't know. Is that bad?
He's so cute. Cute as a button.
I really did. I go way too in deep with my analysis of it.
I don't want to say if I like it or don't like it, because if they do it, I don't want to be on record as saying I don't like you to do that.
I just think it's funny that I honestly have never given it a thought. I know they do it. I'm obviously well aware they do it. I mean, when we're, we get a lot of the stuff in the locker room. I'm listening to when the folks here in Craft Sports Productions are editing those and putting stuff together. I hear it all the time.
Of course.
But I never think anything of it. I
No.
just think that the players do their thing in the locker room, and I it didn't even strike me as odd last week.
I
didn't hear it. I was like, after the fact, I was like, oh yeah, they didn't do all this week.
Right.
I had never even really registered.
did. We pay attention to
Mike obviously has thought long and hard about this. He just went on for 10 minutes about it.
He went home after the game
ponderous
last week
thoughts.
and sat in his study. And it's Daddy.
Do you think he had
Not now.
a tweed jacket with the patches on the elbows?
Yeah, and he's got a pipe. He said, not
Smoke
now.
my pipe. Think about their post-game cheer.
I'm contemplating,
Daddy's doing work.
versus family. But, Daddy, we're your family. Not now.
The realities and misconceptions of
But we pay attention to all these things.
Children of all ages.
Because we are entertained by this and we like this, just like you dissect your favorite movie or your favorite album. And for us, it's, those things too. And games and sports. We put way more thought into this than I think the players do.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
that's
I'm at the number one putting too much thought into stupid things that don't matter surrounding this football team, I'm prime suspect.
Yes. Have been for years. We all say that about
Proud
you.
of it.
Yes.
Love it.
That's all right. Hey.
Come at me, bro.
This is Travis in West Virginia. Please tell Paul to stop saying that Devontae Parker's drop was on the Patriots' own side of the field. It's simply not true.
That play didn't happen from their 9-yard line?
Well, where did the drop take place? Was it over the 50?
I don't think it was. I don't know. I mean, the
I think-
emailer seems very certain,
Would've been
but in
a
my head, it was
massive
about the
throw.
40, 45-yard line.
So just so you know, I didn't know that. I thought it was on their side, but they weren't in field goal range if he caught it.
No.
And I will stand by that. They were not in field goal range if he caught the ball, unless he then ran another 20 yards, which I don't think was going to happen. But, okay, I stand corrected. He did actually lead a comeback, I guess.
They did win that game.
They did win.
As it turns out, 2 big wins in a row for the Patriots.
You got it right there, Hardy. Look at you.
I'm pulling it up right
What is it?
now.
Can you tell me?
Oh, no, it was on their side of the field.
Their own side of the field.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. No further questions.
The Patriots 40. I'll give you the 48.
45 when he made contact with it. He's at the 48 as the ball's on the ground.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
my point was
that ball drops in on the Patriots 45.
They still needed another 15, 20 yards for a legitimate field goal if he caught the ball. That was the only point I was trying to make. Like, everybody's like, they won the game if he caught the ball. Like, no.
Yeah, so Travis in West Virginia, I will await your return email now, or another email saying, okay, it is true, sorry.
And by the way, it doesn't take anything away from Mac Jones's throw. The throw was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
The throw was perfect. But, like, it doesn't mean if he caught it, the game was over, the Patriots won. They still had work to do.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Nice job, guys.
Dropped it on his side of the field.
Oh, right at the
about the 47-yard line.
Right.
And then he fell into the Patriots side of it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the ball when he falls.
Fair enough, Paul. Fair enough.
that tricky ball. Again, I think we somehow get bogged down in minutia.
Right.
Bottom line is great throw by Mac, terrible drop by Devontae Parker, and the original point that I think was it Tony in Canada, which I think he made the original point that I think is 100% accurate by Tony that we all made is Parker's reaction is what really bothered me. That's what elicited my rant on PU on the Tuesday. Like, we used to have guys that would cry after dropping a pass like this. We had this guy telling you,
What'd you see?
Hit my fingertips. What do you think? Next question. Like, I'd have cut him that day. But that's me. I'm a little reactionary.
Matt in England says, what do you think is going on with Booty? I'm seeing a lot of hashtag Free Kayshawn happening on social media. Do you think he is on a short leash from Bill?
I just think he can't beat out the other receivers in the group right now, and anybody who still thinks that he's being iced out because he didn't get his feet down in week 1 is crazy. Like, it's just – Bill said it this week. They've got a lot of competition. I mean, Devontae Parker's losing snaps right now. Like, what did you ever see out of Kayshawn Booty that makes you think that he's better than Douglas, Bourne? You know, I mean, obviously he might be better than Thornton at this point, but I think people are reading way too much into Kayshawn Booty. He had a nice end of camp. He stacked some good days. He made some, solid catches over camp. He was never showing the kind of potential that you saw from Douglas during camp where it was like, wow, this guy really has some electric quickness. I mean, he looks like a nice little receiver. He made the team, but I just think Devontae Parker couldn't go week 1. They put him into that role kind of out of position because they didn't really have another option as an X receiver because Thornton was on IR at the time. He didn't perform that well. That's probably how it goes with a rookie getting thrust into that position. He's got to continue and fight and compete. If he gets out here, he'll earn it, but it's not because of anything other than that. I just don't think he's at the bottom of the depth chart right now.
Looks like same offensive line as last week.
Yeah, okay.
According to those in attendance, Andrew Callahan, Chris Price, Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, Sidney So, and Mike Owenu.
All right.
How's that, Mike? That sounds
right. I think so. I don't know.
Owenu.
I don't know. Up is down. Down is.
Before we get to the
mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
Sunday six-pack here.
Big Mike.
Thank Bridgestone official tire, the New England Patriots. Proud to partner with Sullivan Tire. New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you. You want a six-pack it up there, Matt?
This is the Sunday six-pack, so kick back and listen to my position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Get it mixed, Jack. I came to win it, yeah, this is the Sunday six-pack.
All right, it was a good week for Paul last week in the over-unders.
It was not in the picks.
Don't jump ahead. I'm setting the scene
Hashtag
here.
spoiler alert.
It was a good week for me in the over-unders. Decent for Deuce. How about the six-pack last week?
Turn my mic on here. Mike 4-2, Hardy 4-2, Paul 2-4.
Have these results been vetted, Paul?
They have.
Can confirm.
Okay.
Season totals: Mike 25-11-2, Hardy 19-17-2, Paul 17-19-2.
How'd I go 4-2 here, and I won like one game in the PU ones? I'm on a heater right now for
Yeah,
this
we all
show
had
only.
a terrible week in the PU picks.
Which one do you care more about?
This one,
PU.
obviously.
Thank you.
PU.
Thank you.
Couple 1 p.m. games: the 3-4 Los Angeles Rams at the 4-2 Dallas Cowboys. Dallas -6.5.
What do you think, Deuce?
I feel the pressure now because I'm doing good. I'm going to go Dallas on this one. I don't feel great about it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points. I'll take the LAR. They like being away from home, so they can actually just have a road crowd rooting against them as opposed to
They
a
can
home
expect
crowd
it.
rooting against them.
I'm with Deuce. I'm riding the Cowboys here.
The 5-2
Giddy up.
Jacksonville Jaguars at the 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Jacksonville -2.5.
Ooh. Pittsburgh is one of those teams that is really impossible.
Who knows?
But I am going to take Jacksonville on the road. I think they're better than Pittsburgh, but the Steelers just find a way to win these kinds of games. I'm going to take Jacksonville and hold my nose.
You convinced me. The Steelers find a way to win these kinds of games, and I think you're right. I'm taking the home team, Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm going to go with the Jags on this one. I'll lay the points.
Why would that be difficult?
I don't know. I just thought we should all be together, but no.
We
can't.
we
I
were
took Jacksonville.
already
Oh, you did?
split.
I wasn't listening.
Jesus.
Sorry, Bill came out in a new hoodie for a second. I
can't
thought,
even
and
do it.
I got this.
I can't even.
The 6-1 Philadelphia Eagles at the 3-4 Washington Commanders. Philadelphia -7.
Yeah. I like the Eagles winning this one by 10. I will lay the 7.
I feel like I'm totally going against what got me to 25-11-2, but I'm going to go with. I'm just going to take the points for Philly. I think it'll be a close game.
So you're taking Washington?
I'm taking Washington. I said that wrong.
I think that's why he always wins. He says everything.
Right.
Right? He's like the human
I'll take the
tarp.
points.
I think I'm with Mike. I think I'm going to take Washington because I feel division game. It's too many points for a division game on the road. Jalen Ramsey getting some airtime on NFL Network.
Those unis look good, man.
They are good throwback unis.
Yeah.
4 p.m. games: the 4-2 Cleveland Browns at the 4-2 Seattle Seahawks. Seattle -4.
Ooh, good luck with this one, Deuce. What do you think?
Good luck. I'm going Seattle at home. No idea what's going on in the Browns quarterback situation currently, but I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Yeah, if Watson were playing, I would be all over Cleveland because I think Cleveland's a much better team, but they have no quarterback play at all. I don't know how the Browns are finding ways to win these games. I'll take Seattle.
Defense.
I'll take – well, not last week, but their defense will play better this week. They got 38 last week, high hope.
Yeah, okay.
I got Seattle.
Good
Seattle.
point. We're all on the Seahawks.
Monday Night Football: the 3-4 Vegas Raiders at the 5-2 Detroit Lions. Detroit -7.5.
Big Monday Night Football tilt for the Lions.
It's a lot of
in Detroit.
points, but I'm gonna lay them because I think the Raiders are in disarray. My boy Josh, I don't think is gonna make it much beyond this season. I'll take Detroit.
I want Detroit to have like an angry, kneecap biting, ankle shredding, just tendon tearing performance. So I will also take the Lions.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions too.
Nice.
Go Hardy.
Nice.
And
see where that got us last week.
The 2-5 New England Patriots at the 5-2 Miami Dolphins. Miami -9.5.
I love this game. I love. The
action is the juice.
I love Patriots plus 9.5. I do not love them to win, but 9.5 points. Yeah, I'll take the Pats.
Yeah, I'm going to take those points. I do think it'll be close, and I think New England's got a chance today.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous. I think that's much like I said with the Washington-Philly game. I think that's too many points in a division game. The difference being this one's at home for Miami, but still, I'm going to take that two-score game. I think the Patriots can keep it within a score and cover. I like 27-20 Miami.
There it is. All right, let's take a look at a couple other games on the board, maybe that we are not betting on today, just ones to keep your eye on.
The ones I would have won if they were part of the six-pack? Is that what you're saying?
However you want to look at it. I mean, this would have been a week in other years where it's like, oh, interesting. We got the Vikings and Green Bay playing. A couple of sub 500 teams. That doesn't do anything for me. The Jets, I'm always kind of interested to see how they're going to do. Do you have any interest at all in that Jets-Giants matchup today?
Possibly.
Yeah.
If the Patriots win, I have a lot of interest in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two future opponents, Giants coming down the pike.
But man, I mean, some of these games on the board.
The Sunday night game's the disappointing one because that's when we have a 1 p.m.er, you want to get home, you have a little dinner, you relax, you get to watch some football, cap off the day.
Yeah. What are we going to be watching tonight?
Chicago with the Chargers.
Oh God.
That's
a tough one.
Cincy San Fran, I think Cincy San Fran will be one to maybe keep a little eye on during the post game show.
Yeah.
Cincy San Fran, absolutely. Good game.
And I tell you what, this Panthers team, yikes. 0-6. They've already had their bye. Oof. So, and they are hosting the team that's 500, which is better than a lot of people thought they would be, in the Texans today. And who cares? City morgue, somebody died. Who cares? And it's just a big ball of who cares. So,
Rams, Dallas.
I think the Rams
that's one of the ones that we
a good
picked.
team,
Sure.
but they just haven't been able to put it together for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
They find a way to compete, but they can't close.
I got to tell you, this Patriots-Dolphins game today, it's one of the more interesting games on the board. Just, as a football fan, based on what the Patriots did last week, and the Dolphins have been an entertaining team to watch.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about Mike McDaniel all that much. You in or out on him?
I'm in on him. I like him. I think he's just a breath of fresh air. He's somebody different. He just has a totally different way of going about things. I always think he's interesting, and clearly he has, designed and implemented an offense that was playing at historic levels. I don't know if they're still on that kind of pace, but it's just interesting. It was always like a guy like that, or players. Is this guy going to be able to capture the attention of an NFL locker room? And he's a little goofy, but I like guys like that. And I mean, I just enjoy when he cracks jokes and just brings something new. I mean, obviously we know a lot of coaches around the league are not really like that as much. So I'm in.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like McDaniel. I think his just his overall attitude is refreshing. Now, you need to have success with that.
Yeah.
Because I think,
snowball quick.
You go from being sort of quirky and different to, well, why don't you just do it like everybody else and maybe you'll win,
Yeah.
So I do kind of, I don't know if you guys caught that feature they did on him a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I think it was Inside the NFL.
Yep.
Really interesting guy. Had some problems as a young, he's still young, but when he first got into the league, he had some problems with alcohol and really had to sort of reassess his life. I think Gary Kubiak deserves a ton of credit for helping him and making a tough decision and bettering his life. And I think he's probably gained some perspective from that, family-wise. And, I think he has demonstrated the ability to put a pretty good program together in Miami, which is not easy. They haven't had a lot of success.
But I think you're absolutely right. That type of attitude only works and is embraced when you're winning. If, they enter any kind of a bad stretch, you're going to look at and if they start playing like lethargically or with a lack of care, it's like, oh, look at the head coach. They take their cues from that guy. Now wake up, dude.
Yeah, right.
But
tear into somebody.
There's another throwback game going on today. The Titans are wearing the old Oiler uniforms.
Oh, that's
the baby blues.
That's cool.
Which I do not agree with. I don't think they should be allowed to do that.
No, what if the Ravens wore Broncos or Browns throwbacks?
Seriously, it doesn't. How come they're allowed to do that? No, you don't get to do that.
don't get to do it.
No, the
You're
Colorado
the Titans now.
the Colorado Avalanche get to wear
Don't get me. That would be cool though.
The Rockies,
the Quebec Nordiques,
the Nordiques old sweaters. No, you don't get to do that.
Well, don't the Calgary Flames occasionally wear old Atlanta Flames uniforms?
Not that I've.
I thought they had.
Perhaps.
Maybe they haven't. I don't know.
We'll discuss all these things and more in the post.
At 12:43, you know, I get Grandpa's got to get a nap in.
Before the game.
All right, final thoughts.
Turning point kind of game. Feel like this is going to tell you a little bit about both teams. I hope the Patriots can just get off to a good start and make it interesting, and hopefully the game unfolds in their favor. But I'm very curious what they bring down there today.
Yeah, I think the start of the game is important. I agree with Mike. I think anything can happen in this one. Like Hardy, that's how you open the show. I don't know exactly what to expect from Miami. I think Miami's good, but they haven't really played great the last several weeks now. That Buffalo game and then the Carolina game, they fall down 14-0, and obviously they lose the game Sunday night to the Eagles. They need to play better football, and if they do, I think the Patriots will struggle. But if they continue the way that they've been playing, I give the Patriots a more than a puncher's chance to pull off the upset today.
Okay, well, I think we find out a lot today about both of these teams. We'll see if that prediction comes true in the postgame. We hope you'll join us then.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.